morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Melissa Chambers Consulting Wednesday Words of Wisdom. This morning we are going to be discussing grief. And we're going to be talking about a grief braid. And I wish I could take credit for this, because it explains grief in a way that I have felt it for years and years and years and years. And I don't know why I never could come up with the words, but it is literally how I have felt about grief for many years. I wish I could remember where I saw this and who it was that explained it this way, because I would love to give credit to them. I cannot remember where, for the life of me, where I heard this or where I saw it. I feel like it was a video, but it could have been someone on the radio or something. I'm not sure where I heard this from, but again, I wish I could take credit. I cannot, but I think it's brilliant, and I think it is explained in a way that so many of us will get. So when we talk about grief, and I say this often, and I'm going to say it again, when we talk about grief, so many people, as soon as they hear the word grief, they think of someone that passed away and we're grieving. And that, of course, is very true. And that, of course, is grief. But grieving can be so many other things. You know, grieving could be the loss of a job, whether you got laid off or whether you decided to leave to move on. You could still love that job and love the people that you worked with and grieve the fact that you will no longer be going there. Grieving could be the loss of a relationship the way that it once was. It could be a friend, it could be a spouse. You know, maybe you're still married to the spouse, but maybe you're grieving something in the relationship that you lost. Grieving could be a kid going to college and they're no longer living in the house with you. You could be grieving that. You could be grieving the time that is gone. Grieving could be so many things. So many things. I often think of grief as, a before and an after. Before, whatever this thing is that we're grieving, before the way that was, and after. And the after part, it will never be the same, in my opinion. It will never be the same. Whether that's after a death, after an illness, it could be you're grieving, someone got sick, and there was this before, and then all of a sudden you got hit with this news, and then there's an after, and it's never going to be the same. You could be grieving the fact that maybe you're moving away from your family because you got a job, and you're grieving. You might be so excited, but you could be grieving the fact that you're living away from your family. So many things that we could be grieving. However, when I talk about grief, I often am referring to it because we talk about dementia. This is what we do. I often refer to it as, we might be caring for someone living with some sort of dementia. We might love someone that's living with some sort of dementia diagnosis. And we are grieving the person that they once were. We are grieving every time they get a little bit worse. We could be grieving the way they were even a few days ago or 6 months ago, even though maybe we were grieving them because they weren't the same as they were before. now they've gotten a little worse and they're not even that way now. And so we're grieving again. So through all of the different stages of the diagnosis, we could be grieving and we will be grieving. And so this is how this person, it was a woman, explained grief. And so even if you think about anything that happens, like just say something good happens to you today. I hope something good happens to you today. And you think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to call my mom and tell her. Or I can't wait to call my husband and tell him. Or whoever it is, your best friend. And maybe your best friend passed away. Or maybe you can't call your mom because she has dementia and doesn't, won't know what you're talking about, or won't react in the same way because maybe her brain has made her change a little bit. Or maybe you can't call your husband for whatever reason. Maybe he passed away, or maybe you got divorced, but that's the first person that you thought of to call and you really would like to talk to him, or whomever your person is that you want to call. You might be grieving them for some reason. And so you have this rush of joy or happiness or feeling wonderful because this great thing happened to you. You have this rush of gratefulness or gratitude or thanking or whatever, fill in the blank, but it's a happy thing that happened and you want to tell your person, but for whatever reason, fill in the blank, you cannot tell your person. Maybe they're passed away, maybe there's a divorce, maybe you're no longer friends, maybe they have dementia of some sort and you feel like you cannot share the news with them. So you have this rush of grief all at the same time, and it's a braid. It's braided together. So you have your happy thought, your joy, this wonderful news you want to share, with a rush of grief because for whatever reason you cannot share it. And it is braided together. And if we think about it, we will probably never feel a moment of joy without feeling grief at that same time if we are grieving something. And that's very beautiful, but it's also very sad. And it's okay to be sad. It's also okay, if you're grieving something, to be happy about something else that might happen. That is okay. You shouldn't, I say you shouldn't, I don't mean to say that. We need to try to understand that it is okay to still feel happy if we are sad or grieving something. It is okay. And I hope that we can work on that. And I hope that again, I have felt that so many times to my core after after losing someone, or for whatever reason I might be grieving. I have felt that to my core. Like, I want to be so happy about something, but at the same time I feel so sad, all at the same time. And I just think that person, that woman, whoever she was, explained it so beautifully, that we have this braid of grief and joy or happiness or feeling great about something. We just always and forever will live with this braid now because we are living with grief. And I always I think we probably have all have read this many places if we look into grief. But if we are grieving someone, that's really truly a gift, because that only means how deeply we love them. And if we love, we grieve. Grieve is just another form of love. And so I don't think that the grief will ever go away while we still love the person. Even if it's someone that passed away, sometimes we hear people say, well, it's been 6 months and they're still so sad or so upset about it, or it's been 10 years and they're still so sad. Like it's time to get over it. You know, I'm sure we've all heard people say that. And that is not something that you get over. As long as you love someone or something, or, you know, as long as the love was there, the grief is going to be there. So I hope that helped. I hope that your heart can grieve and still be happy at the same time. And I want to let you know that we're always here for you. So if you need anything, if there's anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to contact us. melissachambersconsulting.com. There's a contact us page. You can email us. There's phone numbers. You can call, text, whatever works for you. And if I personally cannot help, I will try to find you someone that will or that can. Okay? I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I will see you next week. Take care.